All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages, how to access powerful masculine energy. So, the cool thing I've been kind of thinking about and had a kind of energy work massage yesterday that helped me really think about this. It's been very helpful. Um, so, we want to be in that good, powerful, masculine energy and frame with our family. But sometimes that's actually going to be more of a balance of a masculine and a feminine, using kind of more terminology from more Eastern philosophy, those ideas. But they square with, Christian teachings and things in the Bible where we see Jesus as both strong and gentle, both powerful and being someone that cares for people. So that more caretaking side we could call a feminine energy, and a lot of cultures they call it that. The more powerful, directive, um, you know, creative type stuff. I think creative is a good blend, right? Like creativity, it demands you to have a plan, but also this other right-sided, feminine, open mindset, right, to create. Um, so anyway, here we go. My name is Mike Fraser, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and marriage coach. I help high-achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages. So some wins from guys in my program, the Strong Men, Strong Marriages program. Guys are having good, intimate conversations with their wives, working through difficulties, acknowledging mistakes they made, seeing that, starting to change those. Awesome. Guys are improving their physical intimacy and connection. Super fun. Guys are finding hope. I read a scripture this morning about how love hopes all things. And yeah, like last week I was talking about how I was feeling down, and that's still happening sometimes. My marriage isn't quite where I want it to be right now, but having that hope that God can heal it and things can be better than they ever were. I do believe that. I have hope for that. And that feels a lot better than feeling hopeless, which certainly is something that, Satan, the destroyer, he wants us to feel hopeless. New men are joining the program. Love seeing it. Proud of them for taking that leap and jumping in, and looking forward to working with them. And if it's something you're thinking of, we'd love to have you. And for me, this kind of learning about this masculine, feminine energy, grounded energy, that's what I'm going to be sharing today. So right now, right, I'm talking to kind of myself in a lot of this, but maybe you're feeling bad that your wife seems more interested in the kids than in you. That's how it's felt to me lately. And, you know, sometimes, right, I can get in this mindset, that, oh, my wife, she cares about everybody, but she doesn't really care about me, right? Maybe you're feeling bad, or your wife doesn't seem excited to see you or spend time with you, okay? That's been happening for me lately. At least I've interpreted it that way sometimes, right? And this is what I want us all to understand, right? So I'm just going to go into this energy right now. Yeah, I come home. My wife, she's not excited to see me. She doesn't care. She doesn't appreciate all the work I'm doing at home. Maybe you're feeling extra sensitive and defensive around criticism. So, last night, my son and I, he was playing this game. He said he wasn't playing. He said he was in a match. I saw his screen. Didn't look like he was in a match. And then he was like, "You never believe me," and just kind of turned into a big mess. And then my wife, I felt like, took his side in this, and so I felt defensive. I didn't like that idea. So, like, oh, again, she takes the kids' sides over me. And so really you're in this energy of wanting your wife and your kids to change and treat you better. They need to treat me better. They need to appreciate me. They need to accept me. They need to love me, right? So if you can agree with this and be like, yeah, Mike, yeah, exactly. It's like that, right? I just want to ask you, like, how would you describe that kind of energy? Okay. Is it more young and immature? Of like, yeah, they need to appreciate me. They ought to be, taking care of me. She should put me at the top of her list, like I put her at the top of my list. Does that feel more mature and solid and empowered, or does it feel more young and immature? Would you say it's more of like a higher frequency, like a higher energy, or a more lower energy? So for me, I would say it definitely feels younger, more immature. It definitely feels a higher energy. Like I feel like moving, when I'm doing that, versus lower grounded energy. So the thing is, like higher immature energy, it tends to push our wife and kids away. because it is kind of like a child energy, okay? A child thinks it's not fair when his brother seems to be getting more attention than him. Okay, this happens with our younger kids all the time. You like him more than me. You spend more time with him than me. Okay, when we're saying that about our kids and our wife, that's a young energy, right? That's an immature energy. Okay, it's definitely a higher energy. Kids get loud, they get upset when they feel this way, right? So if you're feeling like getting loud, whether you are or not, but internally you kind of feel that, that's kind of a higher energy, immature energy. It pushes our wife and kids away. Why? Because it's not really their job to take care of that younger you that's going on. Like in my mind, this is a younger me that's kind of popping up, right? Wanting attention, all of that. So, but why does this energy push them away? It's because what they're looking for is solid, grounded, masculine energy from you. You know, that's your job as the husband and father, is to walk in with that kind of energy. Solid, grounded, masculine energy, right? And it's really a blend, right? So when we talk about what would be traditionally called like masculine energy, feminine energy, a masculine energy is more kind of driven, get things done, directive, you know, powerful, right? Leader, okay. Feminine energy, more open, nurturing, caring, softer, right? So open, receptive, willing to change, right? Masculine energy more has a plan, executes it, goes for it, okay? So what your family needs and is looking for is a balance of those two things, right? And so being able to adapt to what's needed in the moment, right? Being able to have access to both a soft, caring, nurturing, let me give you a hug that you're feeling down, I'm with you, I've got you, I care about you, right? That's kind of a feminine energy, but it's also backed with this masculine strength. Like, I'm also going to protect you. I have that strength to keep bad things away from you as best I can, right? Also to give you the direction that you need when you need it from this loving place, okay? So, and you really need to be tuned into God to be able to do this, right? And kind of access, okay, what does this kid need in this moment, or what does my wife need in this moment, okay? So again, kind of masculine energy, more driving, accomplishment, strength, competition, protection, scheduling things, getting stuff done, right? So a lot of us can resonate with that as high achieving men. Yeah, that's us, man. Let's get that done. Feminine energy, more open, more nurturing, more intuitive. And that might seem kind of like, oh, that's weird, but like, that's what our family needs too. They need us to have this mix of both. Be open, be nurturing, meet our kids, give them hugs, let them know we care, right? A little bit more of a feminine, open, soft energy, gentle, okay? You know, it talks about Jesus being gentle. I think that's what it means, just like caring. Like you're caring for a plant, you're not going to come in there and like stomp on things. You're going to be gentle with it, be gentle with the plants and the leaves and make sure it's looking okay, right? So again, depending on the moment, you or your wife or your kids might need either one of these energies, or maybe a mix, right? Strong and gentle, nurturing and directive, right? Both. For me, a good example, what I'm picturing lately, in just these past couple of days, has been helpful, is Aslan, right? Aslan from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis. So, you know, he's a type of Christ in there. But he has a really good balance of those energies. He's strong, he's protective, right? And you can tell he's got these guys. He cares. He's gentle when he needs to be. You know, when the kids in this book need it, right? So what can you do, right? Before you go into an interaction, kind of assess your energy state. Am I in that younger, higher, frantic, needy energy? Okay, pay attention. Okay, is the stuff I'm saying in my mind, would like a 5-year-old say this, or is this more an adult would say? Okay, so if you're in that higher energy, needy energy, young energy, that's a clue. Okay, I need to do some self-care for me first here. One thing that's helping me lately, give those younger me's a hug. Even literally like giving myself a hug helps a lot. Has been a really powerful thing for me. Helps me feel like, okay, I've got myself, I've got my younger me's, we're good, right? We're okay. Do some exercise, that can help, right? Pray for sure. You're like filling yourself with that godly energy, right? Again, so like right in the beginning, you know, the Bible says that, you know, God created man in his own image. male and female created them. So God has kind of masculine and feminine traits. I think that's how we probably should read that in the Bible. So when we pray and ask to have God with us, we're able to do that. We're able to be in that grounded, solid state. Okay, able to give our family what they need. Do they need more direction? Do they need more caretaking? Right? Which one do they need right now? They probably need both, but when they need it, how they need it, it's going to vary moment to moment, person to person. So we need to be grounded into God to be able to do that. Okay. So another little practice you do is actually ground, like put your feet on grass or dirt or sand and like imagine God's power like filling you up so that you feel protected and nurtured and held, right, and all of that. So yeah, you take care of yourself first. You get into that grounded, masculine, balanced energy. So now, boom, like you feel strong, solid. You're ready to give your family what they need. Okay, and you walk in the door like that instead of like, oh yeah, my wife doesn't care and my kids don't care and nobody appreciates everything I do. Right? It's easy to get into that mindset. It's an immature, childish mindset. Okay, and look, that's not to say it's wrong or you should never feel that way. It's just saying you need to take care of that. Your family, it's not their job to take care of that. Okay, you need to take care of that because it's younger energy. Take care of that first. Now, that's not to say that you should not ask your wife for things that you want and need in that adult strong energy. Okay, like you may very well come to your wife and say, hey, like when you said this the other day, I didn't like that. Would you please not do that again? Okay, that's in a good balanced state, right? That's respecting yourself. That's more of a masculine directed energy, but also, still an open, caring energy. And maybe it may be even better way would be to preface that, say, hey, like I know when you said that, I get it. Like you're frustrated, or yeah, you're right. Like the way I was acting probably wasn't right, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't do that in front of the kids because, I want to be a team in front of the kids, right? That's a grounded energy, where you're having both, right? You're having the open, feminine energy, caring, nurturing, and directive, right? Both. Another way of thinking of this would be like an attunement, which I think is a powerful way, right? So like what frequency are you at? What note are you playing? Are you coming in with kind of crazy high energy music, right? Or are you coming in with like a solid just boom, 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 right? Grounded bass, something that people can, feel like supported on. All right. But then also thinking, okay, like I really like this music. Like I'm a big fan of music. I played piano growing up. I should probably start playing some more again. Maybe I will today. But thinking like, okay, what frequency is your kid at? Okay, where are they at right now? Emotionally, are they more in this higher energy state? What about my wife? Where is she at right now? Kind of in trying to attune to that. So kind of thinking to yourself, okay, like what frequency do I need to be at to help soothe that energy, to help bring out of control energy down? Like you can't be out of control and expect to bring down out of control energy. Okay, you probably need to slow down a pace that's too fast. Hey, let's relax here, right? You may need to speed up a pace that's too slow. Hey, let's go get some things done today. That's it's time to get up out of bed now that it's noon, right? And you may need to just harmonize with their note, or maybe you need to resonate with it first. Okay, you get in there, hey, like you seem like you're feeling down. You get in there with them. Not that you have to feel depressed or something if they're feeling down, but kind of like put yourself in that resonance with them, okay? So again, like having this balance. So maybe you go in with a plan. Okay, I'm going to talk about this, this, and this. But then you might be willing to change it based on the situation. That's more of like a feminine energy. Be willing to adapt and be flexible, right? So still good to have a plan and good to be flexible if that plan needs to change. Right? Maybe your kid might need a hug and a reminder you love him first, right? Or her first. That's more of like a feminine energy. And then some direction on how to behave next time. That's more of the masculine energy. Okay. So it's not that we have to, it's finding that balance. Okay. And your wife, what she mostly needs is you being grounded and solid, right? So she can lean on you, rely on you, jump into your arms. She's not going to jump into your arms if you're coming in there mad, right? If your energy is needy, immature, childish, she doesn't really like being around that, okay? But if you are strong and solid and grounded, yeah, she can sense that and feel that. And people do pick up on these energetic vibrations that we're at, right? When we talk about intentions, another way to talk about that would be these energetic vibrations. And really with quantum physics, we are energy, okay? And people can sense that, right? And I think women overall are more sensitive to that than men, typically. So your wife does need you to be willing to listen to her. That's more of a feminine, open, receptive, be willing to change, right? And also to be willing to lead, okay? And to say, hey, here's what I want to do with our family. Here's where I want us to go. Can I be flexible with that? Yeah. A little bit more feminine energy there. Are we going to follow through on and execute? Yeah. That's more of a masculine energy, okay? I'm going to listen to her and I'm going to express myself. Listen to her, more feminine. Express myself, more masculine, right? Work together to find something great, right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood, get to win-win. That's that balance, masculine, feminine, working together, okay? Be willing to change, right? More of a feminine flexibility, right? And be willing to hold her, more masculine, strong, being able to stand there grounded and hold her in her various emotions, masculine energy, more steady, stable, feminine, a little more up and down, right? So you're being able to steady and hold her through her ups and downs of emotions, okay? All right, so in summary, guys, before you interact with your wife or kids, just do an energy check on yourself, okay? Am I in that immature, high energy state, okay? If I am, that means I need to take care of myself first, then go in here, okay? It's a good practice to get into before you walk in from work, okay? Am I in that high, young, needy energy state, okay? And if so, let me do some self-care. Let me give myself a hug. Let me touch the grass with my feet. Let me really pray and feel God's energy, that grounded, balanced, masculine energy. You're the man, so you're going to lean more towards masculine energy, but also include that feminine, creative, open, willingness, nurturing, have both in there. That's the balanced masculine energy, okay? So walk in with God. That's the power, right? If you've got God with you, now you're ready to act in the ways that your family needs, okay? Do they need more direction right now? Do they need more nurturing right now? Okay, what's kind of the energy, being able to tune into that and have both available to you? That's what your wife's looking for. That's what your family's looking for. So guys, let's learn how to do this together in Strong Men, Strong Marriages and have God with us as we are husbands and fathers to them. So visit strongmen.io, join our email list. The program's closed right now. We'll open again at the end of August. So if you've been thinking about joining, let's make August your month. We also have an intensive program for guys that are willing and able to invest 5 figures into transforming their lives and marriages. We work intensively with these guys, do daily work with them. So if you're in a position to do that, fill out an application, let's talk, see if you're a good fit. So again, strongmen.io for both of those. Stay strong in God, men. We'll see you next episode.